Hi everybody, it's Matthew here, and today I've got a really fun, fantastic, easy beginner's project for you all. This necklace just here is a macrame woven design that we're going to be making. It only takes about 10 minutes from start to finish and also incorporates a really clean, neat and easy to use magnetic snap lock clasp as well. So make sure you stick around, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. In terms of materials, I think this particular design really benefits from using something that's a little bit chunkier. So I'm going to be using a 9mm braided macrame cord. In terms of clasp, I'm going to be using a glue-in magnetic clasp like this one just here. It has a 9mm hole at the top, which matches the thickness of our knotting cord. But you can also use an 8mm or even a 7mm because the cord is a bit squishy and can be compressed down to fit inside of the smaller holes as well. You'll also need a pair of scissors just to cut the cord with, a tiny bit of masking tape as well, which we're going to use right at the very end. And the last thing we're going to need is some glue. So I have here a silicone-based contact adhesive. I think this is much better than, say, super glue, just because it bonds far better to the metal of your clasp and then will also soak into the cord. Now, a really fun feature about this particular design is that the whole thing can be made with just one single long piece of cord. You don't need to have multiple cords or anything like that. You just have one piece and you make the whole thing just from that one there. So to get started, cut yourself a length of your woven cord that's about 3 meters long or 10 feet. Once you've done that, you can measure around about 15 centimeters, which is 6 inches. And at that point, we're going to just create a little bit of a loop. So this is only a very small loop. We want to make it a little bit bigger than this so that when we stretch it out from one side to the other, it's also around about maybe 20 centimeters or 8 inches. If it's a little bit shorter or a little bit bigger, it doesn't matter too much, but this does determine the size of our necklace in the center. So this part just here. So however long you want this, make this loop just a little bit longer than that size just there. Now what we're going to do, if you have a look, our cord is going over the top of this piece underneath. So we'll just bring it underneath and through that little loop that we've created so that it's now on the inside. I find that it's easiest when you work sort of towards yourself. And what we're going to be doing is weaving this cord over this side and underneath, then over this side and underneath, then back over. So sort of creating like a figure of 8 around the two cords to create that weave. So like I said, first thing we're going to do is take it over the top of this side over here and loop it through and pull it all the way back underneath and inside through that loop just here. Then once we've done that, you can take it over the top of this side and we're going to pull this through that loop and into the center just here like that and slide it up by just holding these two loops and pushing it up just slightly, not too much because we don't want to shorten this tail, but just give it a nice tug so that it's nice and tight like this just here, and that will give you that perfect little finish ready to continue. So see that? We've got our first little weaves just here. Just get them nice and close to each other. And now we'll just continue. So over the top, underneath, and through. Then over the top, back up sort of towards your previous loops, underneath, and back through, and over the top again, underneath, pull it through, and just continue like that. You can see it creates more and more of these loops, which we can just slide them up if we want them a bit tighter. But the great thing is, if they're a little bit loose, we will be tightening them towards the end. So now I'm going to just continue weaving back and forth until I've done almost the entirety of my loop. I want it to be almost full, but not completely full. Here we are, and our last one, let's just pull that through. And here we go. That's going to give us this nice little loop piece just here, and it's almost completely filled. So if we have a look now, you can see I've got it almost completely done. You can see there's a little bit of space here at the very end. And if you take a quick little look just here, the side where we started, it's sort of along this upper top row. Now this is good because this is the side which will go towards your neck, but when it comes to doing the other side over here, you want to make sure that this last little loop is pointing upwards in that same direction. For example, if you did one too many loops or just did one extra like this, you can see that now the cord is sort of pointing downwards, which is the opposite direction to how we need it to be when we want our necklace to be finished. So just pull that last little one out and make sure it's sticking out both upwards in the same direction as this first little part here. And now we're going to do my favorite part of the whole project, which is making this little piece tighten up, but also it gives it that natural curve and it holds its shape. So it's a really fun little process and extremely, surprisingly easy. So if we just take a quick look, this is the start of our work over here. And all we have to do is just pull on this little cord, and because it goes all the way through here and along through here, when we pull this tight, this is relatively held firm at this point, but when we pull on this, it will make it shrink, and this little bit here will reduce down, and then as we continue pulling, all of these knots will be squeezed in together, and it gives it that nice curve shape. So ready? Here we go. Just give it a nice little tug, just gently, softly, slowly, and as you do it, this knot at the end, you'll see, closes down. Make sure you don't do it too tightly. So there you go. And now we can just slide it all down together, and you can just keep on pulling it until it is the exact size you want. So if you want the bottom to be a little bit straighter, you can pull a little bit more out of the bottom. If you want the top to be even more curved, just pull it even more from this side here. But essentially, the best way to pull this part is hold the knots here and just give it a little tug, and that helps this part to close on down and locks that last little knot nicely inside there, making it really firm. At this point, you can sort of just pull on it a little to loosen it out, pull on this side, and then there you go. You have this lovely curve shaped here in the center now. So now that we have this little piece sitting here ready to go, all you have to do is measure this little part against your neck. So essentially hold it up against your neck like so, and just sort of position it to be exactly where you want it to sit on your neck. So if you want it to be a bit lower, you can just pull it down lower. If you want it to sit up a bit higher, just work out exactly where you want it to be positioned on your neck. And then once you're happy with that spot, you can say, yeah, let's get it to sit around about here somewhere. You just hold on to the two pieces, figure out where the middle of your neck is at the back, and hold both cords at that point. So see that? This one, I've only got to cut off a little. This one, I have to hold off quite a bit more. So here those two spots are, and essentially I can just grab my scissors, I'll hold them together. This should be around about equal on both sides, so I'll just check one and give this side a cut first. So grab yourself those scissors and just cut at that point, like so. Then we're going to just lay it approximately like so. So you can see we want it to go from here to here, and we want this side to match. So try and make these about as level as you can get them, and then figure out, yeah, this side comes to about here. So it means on this side we need to cut it round about there. So just grab those little scissors and give that a cut as well. And now if you want to just check it, it's always better if you cut it a little bit longer, so that when you do the checking process, you just take the two ends, hold them to the back of your neck like this, and if that's sitting in a spot that you'll like it for yourself, then perfect. If you want it to be a little bit shorter, you can just take a little bit off each of those ends just to get it just right and sitting exactly where you want it. Now, all we have to do is glue these two ends. So the easiest way to do that is with our masking tape. We want to just cut ourselves off a teeny weeny little sliver, which it doesn't need to be very wide at all, just this tiniest amount here, because you don't want it to be deeper than your clasp, for example. So we're going to now just wrap this very gently at the absolute tip of our work, like so, and just wrap, wrap, wrap all the way around relatively tightly, and that will hold it. But if you have a look, the way I've done it, you can see there's a little bit of excess tape at the top, and it's always better if it's even finer. The less tape that you have, that's even better. So we can just cut that off just a tiny bit so that we have a really small piece just here at the very, very end, which is going to be holding it nice and small like that there, so that when we want to add on our clasp, it's going to be all neat and tidy, and we'll just pop straight inside there, and we don't have to worry about any mess or anything like that. It will be much, much easier than doing it just straight onto this bare piece, which would potentially, see how it can easily get stuck on the end there. Just that little bit of tape makes all the difference. So just do the same thing again on the other side, and then we're going to start doing some gluing. So now that we're going to start gluing, I absolutely recommend that you get yourself a little piece of scrap card or just something that you can throw away when you're finished, but use this here as the space where you're going to do your gluing, so that if any of it spills or gets, onto your work surface, it can be something that you can just scrunch up and throw away, rather than it being on your work surface or a table or whatever it is that you're working on. So this here is very, very important. Now we're going to just take one side of our clasp. In fact, we can do both sides at the same time, but if you're going to do that, make sure you keep them really far apart, because the magnets tend to be quite strong and will snap together, and you'll have that problem. So make sure they stay really far apart, or to be on the really safe side, just do one at a time. But essentially, we're going to take our glue and just pour a little bit inside of this little cap. Now, you don't want it to be too full, because it will sort of splodge out and stick out and overflow to the outside, but essentially you can use the edge of that little metal bit there just to get it nice and neatly inside. I've got it fairly filled in inside there. There's my glue. Now, this particular glue is best if left for a minute or two, so I'll just pop it aside and do my second one at the same time. Just a little bit of glue on the inside there, not too much. And wipe it onto the edges of your clasp like that. And now, most important, put the lid, oh wait, still coming out. Let's get rid of that a little bit more. And now straight away, put your lid back on. Thank me later, so that you don't end up with mess everywhere. Now we're going to just leave these sit just here on my paper. 1 and 2. And I'm going to leave them there for a minute, and then we'll come back and do some gluing and put our cord into that end. So these two bits have been sitting here for a couple of minutes now. So the first thing we're going to do, I'll just put this completely out of the way so it doesn't accidentally snap onto my other cord end. And we're going to just take the end of our cord here, just place that inside of that cap, and just press it all the way in so that it completely fills all of that space just inside there like that. And you can see that we don't really want it to have any empty space there. If you feel like you need a little bit extra glue, you can add it in if you need to, but I'm pretty happy with the amount that I had. That's going to give me a clean finish. If it's overfilled, it can all sort of seep out onto the outside and end up on the outside of your clasp, which you don't want. So just, that is perfect for me. And now I'm going to just pop that aside. I'll take my second one now, grab the other end of my cord, press it into that little cap, and just make sure that that is pressed neatly all the way inside of that cap, all the way as far as I can get it, so that it completely fills the space. You can see I've got a tiny, tiny bit of glue just sticking out just there on the very end, which, because this is like a silicone-based glue, you can just peel that off. And there you go. Look, that's much better, much cleaner. And then once we're happy, again, I'm going to just pop that down and leave it to dry. So there you are. You can just pop the two ends together, then sit it down somewhere where it's not going to get disturbed for the next 24 hours, so that it can all completely firm up and harden. And there you go, done, dusted, and finished.